What's up, everyone? This is Vindictum's Cantina here, coming at you with a video. There's going to be two videos coming out today, so look forward to it. This is the first one. And ignore that other thing that's up there. I've been reading about the very long development of the 2008 Guns N' Roses album known as Chinese Democracy, which is a amazing album, but we're not here for that. Now, I'm not the first person that has basically have done like a call out Screenrant video. I mean, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, then obviously you know Geekdom has done quite a bit. I'm hoping I won't be doing this too much, but I figure I would do this because reading this is definitely something. Is definitely a complaint that is, I think, is a little bit too overblown, in my opinion. But anyways, let's get into this. KOTOR Switch port shows how behind Nintendo's console is, and of course, you know, they gotta throw up that, in a way, diss towards Nintendo and the Switch. The announcement of a Knights of the Old Republic Switch port after Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake reveal is a reminder of Nintendo's poor console power. I'll I'll give you my honest thoughts about this after we're done reading this. Among the many announcements and trailers at the September 2021 Nintendo Direct, it was revealed that Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is being ported to Switch. Only weeks before, a complete remake of KOTOR was revealed for PlayStation 5 and PC. The original Knights of the Old Republic is still a fantastic game, if a bit dated. But the KOTOR Switch port ultimate announcement exemplifies just how far Nintendo's hardware is lagging behind the rest of the industry. Knights of the Old Republic initially came out in 2003 on the original Xbox and PC. And its sequel is still highly regarded, so the KOTOR remake announcements caused quite a bit of excitement. Today the original was playable on many devices, including iOS and Android. But news of yet another port on the heels of the remake teaser unfortunately cast the last defining light on the Nintendo Switch. Many are greatly anticipating the remake, while the Switch is just now getting the original. To be fair, the Switch isn't necessarily in direct competition with the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X S. The portability of Nintendo's console is its most touted feature, and that convenience inevitably comes with some hardware drawbacks. Most Switch owners likely don't expect the Switch system's offering to have top-of-line graphics, but the late addition of the aging KOTOR to its library is noticeable as the rest of the industry is concerning itself with ray tracing and frame rates of 60 frames per second or higher. That said, the KOTOR support will likely be welcomed by fans. This is mostly an issue of bad timing, following the hype of the remake's announcement so closely. A KOTOR Switch support is actually perfect for the Nintendo console. As much as its ultimate announcement in the Nintendo Direct highlights the state of the Switch hardware, KOTOR is much more than a suitable addition to the console's collection of games. Knights of the Old Republic has been critically lauded since its release, and is perhaps the most beloved Star Wars game ever, alongside the original Battlefront 2. The BioWare developed RPG has dozens of hours of content and in exceptional amount of replayability, telling a compelling and dynamic story within a unique era of Star Wars universe. Beyond this quality, though, KOTOR's gameplay also lends itself particularly well to the Switch strengths. The combat is somewhere between real-time and turn-based, allowing players to pause any time in order to set up their next action. This, combined with plenty of interactive conversation minigames throughout, makes it easily digestible on a portable system. The game's dated visuals likely won't be so noticeable on any of the Switch modern screens and physical, but its analog sticks will likely serve players better than the touch controls of the existing smartphones and tablet ports. The Nintendo Switch is clearly far behind the other notable hardware in the games industry, and the upcoming Knights of the Old Republic, for example, is that. But at least it's a worth addition to the system's library. Okay, as a Switch owner, the one thing that I will call out, and I'll get more into this, that I think is kind of a bunch of BS, is the KOTOR gameplay also lends up particularly well to the Switch's strength. Pretty much this part right here is what I disagree with the most. Anyone that owns a Switch knows that it can handle open world experiences. And I'm talking about like open world like Skyrim. Obviously Skyrim is on the Switch. Breath of the Wild. It can handle these big, triple A titles. Now, when it comes to more modern games, I'm everyone knows that it takes a little bit more effort to do. And the fact of the matter is too, like in here, they talk about the timing. Um, let me see. Let me find the part. Okay, like we don't know if this is actually in response to the KOTOR remake, because I've seen people asking for KOTOR on the Switch, um, and even the PS4, even for a while now. This is the one game that people wanted Aspire to port over to other consoles because they have a point here. You can only play KOTOR, the first KOTOR, on Steam. Um, or if you actually like touchscreen controls, you can play it on the phones or tablets, even though you can use a controller. And funny enough, I bought both KOTOR 1 and 2, not just on Steam, but also on my phone and tablet. So, if I would have known that a Switch port would have been coming out, I wouldn't have bothered paying it for on the phone. But it is what it is. Hindsight is 2020 after all. But to say that's bad timing, we don't know that. That's merely speculation on Screenrant's part. This article was written by Kyle Gradden, and it's pretty much well established that people that write this type of stuff probably don't really care about what they're talking about. They're doing it to get clicks. Geekdom has exposed that in many videos that he's done. That's all they care about. And the fact of the matter is, yes, compared to the PS5 and the Xbox One Series X and S, and even compared to the PS4, the Switch is not that powerful. That's why to run The Witcher 3, they have to take some liberties with the graphics, but it can run it. It can handle a big game like The Witcher 3. It just takes some give or take. Now, obviously, if you care about graphics, if you care about playing, The Witcher 3 at its most highest, visual settings, obviously, you're going to want to play it on a high-end PC, because it's well known that with The Witcher 3, even the console versions isn't the most ideal way to play The Witcher 3. No one has said that the Switch is more powerful than the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S. So my opinion is, why write an article about writing KOTOR being part of the Switch when it's clearly a way to, in a way, undermine Nintendo, like I see tech sites always do. You know what I mean? It's like, no one is saying that the Switch is more powerful than, the PlayStation 5. And I think it's unfair to compare the Switch to them, considering most people don't even have a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X and S right now because of the scalpers. And chances are, a lot of people, if they are upgrading their PS4, they're probably right now just upgrading it to the Pro until they're able to get a PS5. Or in case of Xbox fans, they're probably upgrading their Xbox One to probably a Series X. I mean, not a Series X, but to the Xbox One X. With Switch fans, we know that this console doesn't perform well technically. Well, not technically, that it doesn't perform well in terms of specs compared to the PS5, but to compare to a console that no one can't even get because of the scalpers. No. And the sad thing is, I see a lot of sites do this, and it's like, do I think that the Switch is the most powerful console known to man? No. Technically speaking, my most powerful piece of hardware is actually my custom built PC. That's actually my most powerful piece of hardware. Why? Because it's a well known fact that if you build a PC just right, it can be more powerful than any console. But at the end of the day, when it comes to a console, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what type of graphics it has. It comes down to how fun the games are. The fact of the matter is, you can't play Mario on a PlayStation. You can't play Mario on an Xbox. Unless you obviously, hack them and put emulators on them. But in order to play Odyssey, you only have two choices. A, wait for a Switch emulator. Or B, get a Switch or a Switch Lite or even the new Switch OLED. And to say this here makes it easily digestible on a portable system. The Switch is both a portable and a regular console because of the dock. I actually played in both. It's a very versatile. I'm tired. My apologies if I'm not making any sense. That's one of the most. That's one of the features that people love about it. That's why the one thing Steam's coming out with, which I'm looking forward to, is also taking cues from the Switch, because the Switch is the most, in terms of modern day. Okay, the Switch is continuing to sell. And the fact of the matter is, we don't know why they decided to port this game to the Switch and not the other two consoles that people would love it on. When it comes to the Xbox, they can pretty much already play the original on there with the backwards compatibility. PS4 players and Switch players, they have no way unless they so happen to have multiple consoles like what I do, or they have a gaming PC, or they actually have a good mobile gaming setup. It's, if they do announce it for the PS4 in terms of the original being ported, then that means this article doesn't really have nothing going for it. And there is a lot of mistakes here because because they're talking about the Switch in terms of its hardware. Anytime I see these articles, I never see them talking about how much the Switch is sold and how well it's doing. No, it's always about how lacking it is in terms of power compared to, heck, the PlayStation 4. And the fact of the matter is, there's one game that can run on the Switch that it's not even on there yet. The GTA 5. A game that I know people would pick up on the Switch because we don't have many, if you think about it too, other than Mario Kart and Smash Brothers, we don't really have any other multiplayer games that people would actually want to pick up and play on the Switch. We don't have Call of Duty on the Switch. We don't have Battlefield on the Switch. But to have Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online, that would be a big seller in my opinion. We don't know if this is bad timing. And just because the remake is, people are excited for the remake, there's also a lot of people worried too. Like I said in my first video on this channel, is that people are worried about, because of one writer, that the story's going to be changed. But if they were to do some more digging, they would know that chances are it's just the visuals and the gameplay that's changing. And I'll talk about that more here in the second article. But yeah, this article is crap. It's the same old, you know, we're going to undermine the um, the Switch like we always do, despite the fact that it could potentially sell more consoles than the PS4. I don't know if it already has or not, but I know that's pretty close. I believe it's pretty close. I know that it just hit past the Wii in terms of sales, I believe. But I actually have this game pre-ordered on my Switch. I'm looking forward to actually playing it. Right now, I'm still focusing on Pokemon Sword, but I definitely will stream it on the channel when the time comes. Actually, I probably will stream it on my main channel and this channel at the same time. And speaking of games that Aspire needs to port over to the Switch, get the original Battlefront 2, and maybe work something out to where you guys can get the multiplayer working, because obviously EA isn't going to put their Battlefront 2 on there, which I would totally love, because I actually do like EA's Battlefront 2 a lot. Do I like it more than the original? No. I have so many good memories of this game, so I might be a little bit more biased because of nostalgia. It's like there's not really much KOTOR stuff in here. It's just like I said, it's mostly undermining the Switch. So once again, it's Screenrant being Screenrant, you know. And at the end of the day, Switch players knows how limiting this console is, and that's why we've been wanting a Switch Pro. But until we get one, Switch fans are satisfied with just what we have right now. Even if we are a little bit frustrated because, for obvious reasons. And the thing is, just because this is coming, just because we have the original being ported, doesn't mean that the Switch won't get the remake. It's just because obviously Aspire knows how the Switch works, considering that they ported over several Star Wars games, not just KOTOR. They ported over Jedi Outcast 2 and Jedi Academy, which I own. I believe Star Wars Racer was also them. I'm pretty sure it was, and also Republic Commando as well. So they know how the Switch works. So if they do decide to port the KOTOR remake to the Switch, then I think that they could do it successfully, especially since they know how the Switch works. But let me know what you all think. Once again, Screenrant and Screenrant, and sometimes they do good articles, sometimes they don't. But with that said, I hope you all enjoy this little rant. As always, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you're new here. I'll be seeing you all in the next video. May the Force be with you all.